Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. सर्वत्र सर्वदा सर्वम आत्मानं सततं ध्रुवं सर्वं शून्यमशून्यं च तन्मां विद्धि न संशयः. When our attention is on anything else other than ourselves, we are living in the relative world. And when we withdraw our attention from everything in this world, then we start living in awareness. This is the basic difference of approach on the spiritual path. One approach is we give extremely valuable importance to the matter. All the time thinking and talking about the world, trying to improve the world, trying to improve the society, doing good to the people, doing charity, and from there we withdraw, then we come to our body. Our body should have a good figure, we should take care of our body. From there we come to the mind, all the time emotional. And when our emotions are not fulfilled with the human beings, we hold on to the dogs or the gods. Some of us hold on to the dog. Some of us hold on to the God. The spelling is this way, that way. See? Those who want one-way love, they hold on to dogs and they hold on to gods. One way. See? And we say, I love animals after having a chicken dinner. This is only abnormality, nothing else. And then some of us are caught up only in the intellectual gymnastics. And this is what we mean by life. But the other path is wherein we are now living in awareness. When we start living in awareness, we remain at home with ourselves first. Those who are living at home with themselves, they alone can be at home with the whole world. Those who are at war with themselves, they cannot be at home with the whole world. So here is the technique of the second type. Atmanam satatam sarvatra sarvada dhruvam vidhi. Come to discover that this self that we are is ever the same. Like the space is ever the same. These days the climate is so nice. In rainy season it is so terrible. In summer it is horrible. But the space continues to be the same undisturbed. In the same manner, when we are aware of our own presence, then alone we have taken a right direction in our spiritual quest. Up to here we have seen. Now in the 34th verse, the teacher says, Na vedana lokana surana yajna varnashramo naiva kulam na jatihi na dhuma margo na chaditi margo brahmaika rupam Paramartha Tattvam. Paramartha Tattvam. The reality, the absolute self is what? Brahmaika Rupam. It is one without a second. It is mathematical understanding, if we get, it's very good. All our rules and regulations of mathematics fail when we start applying them on the infinite. On the infinite, all our mathematical laws fail. plus minus anything to the infinity, you cannot improve nor you can reduce. And therefore Brahmaika Rupa. And when we thus take this and start analyzing our own experience, childhood has come and gone, do we feel any loss? Youth has come and gone, do we feel any loss? We are ever the same, unchanging reality. Now this has not to be created. Even if we don't want, we are Brahman. Now what will you do? See friends, therefore, Brahmaika Rupam Paramartha Tattva. If this is recognized by us, then what about the relative world? What is the relative world? Veda, Loka, Sura, Yajna, Varna, Ashrama, Kula, Jati, Dhuma Marga and Dipti Marga. These things have no meaning in the absolute. And it is here we are caught. First of all, Vedaha, all the knowledge. See, it is only the Upanishad alone have the guts to say, Tatra Veda Aveda Bhavanti. In the absolute, Vedas have no place. Therefore, na Veda, na Loka. Loka means the field of experience. See? Like the world of musicians, the world of lawyers, the world of the doctors. So Loka means the field of experience. No field of experience because it is experience itself, because of which all other experiences are possible. Therefore, no specific field of experience. Na Sura. Sura means gods. Sura also means the wine. Na Suraha. There is no place like somebody is holier and somebody is less holy, somebody is realized, somebody is not realized, somebody is good, somebody is bad. All these things, they have no meaning in the absolute. See how the relative world begins. Take one example. When I call somebody that, oh, you are so beautiful, I have already created an ugly person. When I call somebody, hey, you are very tall, I have already created a shorty. When I call somebody that you are very rich, I have created a poor. The moment we start talking, the world begins. See? Therefore, here, na loka, na sura, na yajnaha, all activities are called as yajna. There is no activity in the self. The self is without any activity. See? Without activity means what? Bhagavan Krishna talks in Bhagavad Gita very nicely. Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopyatra mohitaha tatte karma pravakshami. What is the karma? What is the vikarma? What is the akarma? Many learned people are also confused about it. What is the karma? And this karma is the one thing which attracts every workaholic person. So Bhagavan says, what is karma and akarma, etc.? He gives a thumb rule. Karmani akarmayaha pasche, akarmani cha karmayaha, sa buddhiman manusheshu, sa yuktaha, krishna karma krita. 3:14. Yaha karmani akarma pasche. He whose activities are not for getting happiness, but he who is expressing happiness through every expression of life, he has understood the secret of karma. It is something like, I am talking to you. So am I talking to you to get happiness from your applause and appreciation, or am I talking to you to express the inherent happiness that I am? What will be the difference? The difference will be, If I am talking to get something from you in return, then I will be happy. My misery is guaranteed. On the contrary, if I am expressing happiness through my speech, my life is fulfilled. See, karmani akarmaya pasya. The story doesn't end here. If you are also listening, because somebody has tied you with a lead and brought you here, come, let us listen. I don't want to come. Come on, at least for my sake, come once. Okay, I come. And then we take the watch and constantly keep on looking at the watch. Everybody is enjoying, but the one who is brought by a lead, he is suffering. This is a basic principle of karma. Don't do anything in this world to get happiness. Whatever you are doing, express happiness through action, through word, through thought. We have learned the secret of karma. Therefore, na yajnaha. Nothing is done to gain anything in this world. See, friends. But you know, our whole life has been on this foundation. If I do this thing, what will I get? Every time the same thing. If I go to temple, what will I get? Prasad. What else can you get? See? If I don't go to the temple, what will you get? Hell. So what will I get? This is a totally wrong approach in life. See, friends, one example I'll give you. One child did something very good. So I gave him a chocolate. And he saw that he was very happy. I said, come on, I'll open it for you, eat. No. I want to keep it in my pocket. So why keep it in the pocket? I want to give it to my sister. I said, you eat? Why sister? No, I want to give it to her, I will not eat. I said, then give me back. He said, I won't give you back. Then I asked him, but what is that you are going to get when you give to your sister? You know what was his reply? He didn't say, I get happiness. He is a sincere child, not a, thought. He said, Swamiji, do you have a sister? I said, no. Then you will never understand how true it is. See, friends. Then I told him, I said, look here, when we get happiness by receiving, it is the devil which is functioning. And when we discover happiness in giving and sharing, then the divine is functioning through us. See, friends. And therefore, here, na vedana lokana surana yajna. The life of such great masters is not for getting anything from this world. They keep on giving incessantly till the last moment of their life. No calculation, what will I get? Those who have this foundation, what will I get? They have not learned even 1% spiritual life at all. Discover this joy in giving. And friends, it's not that we don't know, we know it. But we don't know that we know it. See how it is. During our childhood, we were so poor and we didn't have even shoes to go to school. And we always used to get inherited pants from the third brother. Never have purchased a new pant. It was only inherited. Shoes we have never put on in our school days. But now, by God's grace, I have got sufficient money. So my child, he buys every month a new pair of shoes. I don't object. Now what is happening? The father is living his childhood through his own son. Is it not? Now apply this principle at a totality level. A great master who is no more living for himself because his I has disappeared. Then what is happening? It is the Lord who is expressing through him. And when the Lord expresses through us, there is no what will I get, but how much I can give. See? The other day, I heard one beautiful story in some place. One day, on some place in Bombay, one beggar, he came, oh Bauli, please give something. And one nice looking man, he started looking at his purse. So the beggar thought, come on, he will give me something. So he was waiting for him. And when he put his hand, his pocket was picked and nothing. Then he went to the beggar and held his hand. He said, my dear, I am extremely sorry. I wanted to give you, but somebody has picked my pocket. I don't have anything now. Please forgive me. I gave you hope, but didn't give you anything. Tomorrow I will come and give you. That beggar said, sir, you don't have to give me anything. In my whole life, nobody has held my hand with love and purity. Money is not everything in this world, friends. Can we give this unconditional love to the world? Our love is the one in which we fall. Instead of rising in the love, we fall in love. And when we fall in love, our calculations go, I have cooked the food, now you wash the dishes. I have produced the child, now you take care of it. Ram, Ram. Therefore, friends, na lokana vedana surana yajna na varna shramo. Varna is not the caste system, what is spoken of in our society. Varna is Varnanat Varna. Varna means that which is a technique of describing something. See? So, there are 4 types of descriptions of humanity depending upon the makeup of what they are made up of. First, those who are basically knowledge oriented, a little bit of activity and a minimum of laziness and indolence, they are described as Brahmins. Those who have got lot of activity, more of selflessness and a minimum or almost zero of the selfishness, those types of people are called as Kshatriya. Those who have got lot of activities prompted by selfishness, no laziness, and little bit of sattva, they are called as Vaishya. And those who are neither intelligent nor dynamic, they simply want everything free. Example, government servants. They are called as Shudra, who are constantly complaining and crying. See, while coming, Nisham told me something about here, the workers in the BMC. I said, if this is so, we are, in Calcutta, we are not lagging behind. This I am telling you, 92, 93 times story. One postman goes to his post office, collects the letter that he has to distribute, and there is a boy available there. Take this 10 rupees and distribute to everybody. And his salary goes in his pocket, he does some business. And that boy goes with those letters, throws them into Ganga Ji ki jai ho, and without doing everything we want, they are called a Shudra. Whether we deserve or we don't deserve, doesn't matter. See? Therefore, Varnaha and all these characteristics are supported by the one reality, and in this one absolute, all of them have no value, no Varna. Ashrama. Ashrama is the brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, and na kulam na jati. I belong to, a very high traditional home, kulam. I never knew all these things, Slowly when you interact with the people, then you come to know. There was one family, they asked me, family, if you know some good boy for our daughter, I said, okay, I'll find out. But please remember, we are Marathas, and we are Shahandopuri Maratha. What happened to the four? Remaining four. Not 100%. We don't have a relation with the Chaurandopuri Maratha. दो कम हो गए. Terrible. न वर्णाश्रमा, न कुलम, न जाति. Jati means human beings, animals, plants, etc. Na dhuma margaha. Then after the death, there are two types of paths indicated. If you die in the Dakshinayan, you go to hell. If you die in the Uttarayan, even if you have done anything wrong, you go to heaven. That is why, this Bhishma Acharya, when he was lying on the deathbed, he was waiting for the Uttarayan to come, so that the gates are open and then he can enter. All these things are valid only in the relative world. In the absolute, these have no meaning. Kabirji used to say, if by chanting the Ram's name, one is liberated, why should I come and stay in Varanasi? Whether Varanasi as a place is important or the name of the Lord, that is important. And therefore he never lived in Varanasi. He went the other side of the river. See, friends. Therefore, all these things are valid only in the relative realm. And nadipti margaha, so brahmaika rupam paramartha tattvam. Therefore, friends, all the things which talk about differences, divisions, should not be entertained if we are seeking the truth in our life. व्यापक निर्मुक्तः त्वमेकः सफलं यदि प्रत्यक्षं च परोक्षं च ह्यात्मानं मन्यसे कथम्. If you are vyapya vyapaka nirmuktah, see, the water is permeating every wave, every ocean. So we talk about that whole ocean or the waves are permeated by the waters. So are we talking about two things? Water and ocean? I'll give just one example. See how subtle it is, our wrong understanding. We think that there is water in the ocean. We inquire, is there gold in the ornament? But what is the truth? Truth is the other way around. The ocean is in the water, the ornament is in the gold. Ocean is not the reality, water is the reality. In the same manner, ornament is not the reality. It is the gold that is the reality. Now apply this. I am in the body or the body is in me. See, colors and forms are in the vision. Vision is not in colors and forms. Then the vision is in the mind. See, and further, the mind is in the consciousness. And the consciousness is all by itself. But our understanding is, I am inside the body and the world is outside the body. I am not inside the body, the world is in me. I am not in them. 9th chapter Bhagavan talks about this topic. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina masthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastita nachamastane bhutani pashyame yogameshwaram bhuta brunnacha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Although formless, I support all the forms. And therefore all the forms are in me, but I am not in them. And to be frank with you, Neither they are in me nor I am in them. From the absolute standpoint, names and forms have no existence. In this manner, Vyapya Vyapaka Nirmukta Tvam Ekaha Kevalam Yadi. You are the one alone, nothing else. See? Dvitiyatvai bhayam bhavati. Even there is a trace of otherness. There is a fear. There is desire. There is anger. Only the cause, sense of otherness. Suppose you are somewhere in a forest. Darkness all around. Before we sleep, we will be afraid. I hope nothing comes, And once we sleep, all fear goes away. Why? There is no other. So how the world begins? The world begins with a sense of otherness. How the sense of otherness begins? Because we consider we are inside the body and the world is outside the body. In the deep sleep, this concept of in and out is invalid. See friends, this concept of in and out is the cause of this samsara. And this concept has no meaning, no. It is only with reference to something. It is not absolute. Like the keys are inside my pocket. The book is outside. The book is inside Kaivalya Dham. The car is outside. The car is inside in Bombay. Pune is outside Bombay. So in and out is always with reference to some point. But when all the points are illusions, not real, there is a place for in and out. Now understand this through this example, very good example. Wrinkles on the cloth. See, this is my very regular meditation. That is why I like to do my ironing myself. When you wash clothes, dry them, wrinkles are there. Now go on thinking on this, whether the wrinkles are in the cloth or the cloth is in the wrinkles. Go on thinking, cloth is in the wrinkles are in the cloth. I don't know. So what is the option? Option is one will say cloth is in the wrinkles. Okay. The other one will say wrinkles are in the cloth. Okay. What is your understanding? Both of you are wrong. Wrinkles are not an object. It is merely an appearance. See friends, Vyapya Vyapaka Nirmukta. See? Therefore, Pratyaksham cha Aparoksham cha Atmanam Manyase Katham. And therefore, how can you even talk this language? Paramatma is Paroksha, far away. Or Aparoksha, my essential nature. All these languages and the usage is meaningless. Therefore, Atmanam Pratyaksham Aparoksham cha Katham Manyase. Then what is the ultimate result? Ultimate result is we are in the same position like the space. Therefore, yesterday I told you, start playing space as your meditation. This is the only way by which we can transcend the forms. Mind cannot survive without forms. Mind cannot survive without sounds. If forms are deleted and sounds are deleted, and we are not sleeping, that experience is our own presence. You cannot have any doubt about your own being. Now in this experience, Atmanam Paroksham, Atma is somewhere far away, or Aparoksham, very close to me. See? The space is far away from us or very close to us. See? Horizon looks very beautiful. You try to approach the horizon, you never find it anywhere because it is not. It is merely an illusion. Therefore, Ishavasya Upanishad says that Tadvad Dure Chantike. The Paramatma is extremely far away for those who do not know and very close for those who are students, and the one who is established for him, both away as well as close. Therefore, Pratyaksham cha Paroksham cha Atmanam Manyase Katham Advaitam Kechid Icchanti Dvaitam Icchanti cha Pare Samam Tattvam na Vindanti Dvaita Dvaita Vivarjatam. Now here is the problem with the so-called Sampradaya, traditions. You know, there was one movie which I saw many years before, The Fiddler on the Roof. One of the very beautiful movies. And in that movie, it is shown the tradition, how we are caught up by the tradition. And traditions have no value whatsoever. But we get caught up. See? Here the teacher says, some is lost in Advaita. I belong to the Advaita Sampradaya. One finger. The other says, no, I belong to Dvaita Sampradaya. So they get lost only in the Sampradaya. It is something like that, you know. If Lord Jesus comes and goes to a church, he will be first asked, excuse me, you are Catholic or Protestant? I am Jesus. That's a different issue. We want a brand. In the same manner, if God comes before us, we'll ask him, excuse me, what's your name? I am Sri Krishna. No, get out. I want only Shiva. How can the Krishna be God? Shiva is the only God. See, friends. Therefore, some are lost only in the words called as non-dual, others are lost in the words called as dual, and they say, Samam Tattvam na Vindanti. The one reality which is supporting both the non-dual as well as dual. Be very attentive. When we give importance to the duality, then alone we are talking about the non-duality. It is something like this. Suppose I introduce my child to somebody. That this is my elder son. What is it understood? That there is second fellow also in the queue. And suppose I say, this is my son. That means there is no second one. In the same manner, when we are obsessed with duality, Dvaitam, and therefore we say, no, we believe in Advaita, both of them are useless. See, friends, it is something like, you know, if there is a pyramid, and there are 4 people standing at the base, and they are walking towards the summit. They will be always talking about differences. Our path is better than yours. Karma, Yoga, Bhakti, Jnana, 4 paths. We are separate. Karma is only for the ignorant. Yoga is for only dumb people. Bhakti only for the crying people. Knowledge for the intelligent people. And when they start walking, and the one who reaches there, from his point of view, all are but one. Till such time we attain, then only there are discussions and arguments. See, friends, Samam Tattvam na Vindanti, Dvaita Advaita Vivarjitam. See, when we talk about the Western world and Eastern world, is it that in the Eastern world there is no sunset and in the Western world there is no sunrise? I could never understand till then. What is that which can talk? This is the Western world, this is the Eastern world. It's constantly moving. See? Indian space. So, suppose this is the globe and the globe is constantly moving. Indian space above India. So, is the space also moving? See? Height of foolishness called as the politics. Samam tattvam na vindanti dvaita dvaita vivarjitam shvetadi varna rahitam shabdadi guna varjitam kathayanti katham tattvam manovachama gocharam. Now some people talk about the God Paramatma with various kinds of colors. You know, Shuklam Paradaram Vishnu Shishivarnam Chaturvajam Prasannavadam Dhyaye. Shuklam Paradaram Vishnu. Vishnu is not holding the white cloth, he is with the yellow cloth. No, not in this kalpa. In the earlier kalpa, it was the white cloth and so much time has gone, therefore it has become yellow. Various colors. When I sit for meditation, I saw Bhagavan Krishna and he was so fair. It is not possible. If you have seen fair Krishna, then you have seen something wrong. It was not Krishna. Why? Krishna is dark. You know, one of the best experience I had about Jesus. You go to the original place where Jesus was, there people have got very sharp features, long face. And as you go towards east, and when I went to China, one of my friend's place, that lady is a Christian, Avi. So when we went to her place, and there also Lord Jesus, slit eyes, one hair here, one hair here. And instead of, you know, that thorn cap, it was with the flowers. If Jesus comes, they say, what cartoon you made of? See, friends, we get lost only in the non-essentials in life. Therefore, Shvetadi Varna Rahitam, Shabdadi Guna Varjitam, all the attributes which create differences have no value in the absolute. And therefore, Manovachama Gocharam, that it is beyond the scope of the speech, the mind, and any explanation. See, if you have to write an essay on earth, we can Google a lot. If you have to write on waters, the essay will be shorter. If it is on fire, it will be still shorter. If it is on air, it will be still shorter. If you have to write an essay on space, what will you write? That which is in your head is called as the space. What can you write about space? And the space is projection of the mind. And then we start writing about the mind. Mind, you know, mind is that, where there are emotions. What is the meaning of emotion? Emotions is love. Love is what? See, I love you. How much? I love you. What love? Only trying to, you know, twist your body and tongue and all that, and yet the love doesn't come out. Only frustration comes out. And that reality, which is expressing as emotion, how can you talk about it? Because we are caught up only at our sense organ and mind level, we talk only that language. See, Dakshinamurti Stotra Dhyana Shlokas, it is written, Chitram Vatataror Mule Vruddha Shishya Gurur Yuva Gurostu maunam vyakhyanam shishyastu chinda samshaya. It's a wonder of wonders. The teacher is talking in the eloquence of the silence, and the disciples are dispelled of all their doubts. Because mano vachama gocharam, that is beyond the scope of all the means of knowledge. To that, how can you talk? Paramatma is white and blue and green and yellow. Yada anrutamidam sarvam dehadi gaganopamam tadahi brahma samvedhi nati dvaita parampara. When you come to recognize idam sarvam anrutam, dehadi starting from your gross body up to the space. Anrutam, it is not real. See, what is real? That which does not undergo any change. That is real. Now find out, starting from our possessions, our values, our body, our sense organs, our mind, our intellect, our priorities, our friends, our enemies, our achievements, our failures, everything is constantly changing. And the space, that is also not available to us in the deep sleep. But there is one principle which is ever the same, whether it is waking dream, deep sleep or samadhi, that alone is the truth. And therefore, yada idam sarvam dehadi gaganopamam anrutam vidhi. When you come to recognize this whole world is not real, be attentive. See, this example I gave you, repeat this practice on yourself. We all feel we are seeing each other. But the truth is, we are not seeing each other. The light of the tube light is falling on my beautiful face, and it is getting reflected, and the reflected light is making an image on your retina, and what you are seeing is the image on the retina. Suppose you close your eyes, image cannot be formed. So that which demands a specific conditioning for the experience to happen, it is an illusion. See? Can we experience the mirage waters any time of the day? No. When the sun rays are coming perpendicular to the earth and it is terrible hot, then the sun rays become refracted through the rarefied air and there is an illusion of appearance of water. Does it mean that there is water there? See, friends. And therefore, now apply this principle. This waking world we glorify so much about. This waking world comes into existence only after we are identified with the gross body. See, when we are not identified with the gross body, this world doesn't exist for us. See? You must have heard this thing, somebody is in coma, lying down. This happened in Bombay. One Gujarati family took me to their house. After giving food, nobody gives you free food. So after giving food to Swamiji, our Dadi Ma is not well, please bless her. So naturally, namak khaya hai. How can you say no? So I went. And she was lying in coma. Tubes here and there. And one nurse was standing there. So I finished my drama. And then these people say, Swamiji, we can't see her suffering. Be attentive. A person who is in coma never suffers. The person who pays the bill, he alone suffers. Because in the coma, you are not identified with your body. And therefore, there is no Mr. Somebody. See, friends. But those who are identified with the body, they look at Marta bhi nahi. Every day the bill is being paid. See friends, therefore this waking world comes into existence only after we are identified with the body, and if we are not identified, the world disappears. Therefore the total experience of Mr. Waker is 100% illusion. Do we have the guts to live this knowledge? Nobody know tomorrow is my marriage, Get married and suffer. Therefore, yada anrutamidam sarvam dehadi gaganobhavam tadahi brahma samvetti. Then you have somehow or the other come to recognize what the reality is, and for such a person, nate dvaita parampara. Then you are not caught up into the funny story. Last life, I don't know what sins I have done. I got married to this lady and I am suffering. Then what do you do? I pray to the God, oh God, next life I should not get married to this lady. But she is doing Karwa Chauth. Now you are caught up. अब जाऊं तो जाऊं कहाँ? How long are you going to suffer from this? Nate dvaita parampara. The Upanishad says, न निरोधो न च उत्पत्ति न बद्धो न च साधकः न मुक्तः न मुमुक्षुर्वै इत्येषा परमार्थता. Nothing is ever born, nothing ever dies, nobody is bound, nobody is liberated. This is the ultimate truth. Oh God, तो कुछ भी नहीं, nothing. Nobody has seen one's birth. Somebody, you are born on 29th February 2007. Yes, 21 साल आया था 29. If somebody is born like our, one of our Prime Minister, Morarji Desai, he was born on 29 February, and therefore he was growing very slow, 1 year in 4 years. So when he was 80, he was called as 20 years young, because he couldn't grow fast. Therefore, this is only imagination that this world is real. It is not. Nate dvaita parampara. We have to go nowhere and achieve nothing in life. Then you start remaining naturally, effortlessly in the utter present. Like a child. A child is not worried, kal kya hoga. He doesn't know what is the meaning of kal. See friends. Therefore, parena sahajatmapi yavinnaha pratibhati me vyomakaram tate vaikam dhyata dhyanam katham bhave. So, parena sahajatmapi abhinnaha pratibhati me. Now I clearly experience that other than me, nothing else is. In this absolute I, there is no you. It is not a relative I. In the relative I, there is I versus you. And when there is I versus you, there is third person, he, she, it, they. And the samsara begins. And what is the samsara? Samsara is I, the first person, talk to you, the second person, about he, she, it, they, the third person. If there is no second person, there is no third person, to whom and what will you talk? See? Unless there is someone else, something other, thoughts cannot be. There cannot be vision in the eyes, unless there is something else to be seen. When the eyes try to see themselves, eyes are blind. When the mind focuses its attention on its own source, the mind disappears. See, there cannot be any thought about the self. Therefore, parena sahajatma pi avinna. So there is no reason to recognize oneself to be other than the absolute reality, and therefore vyomakaram. What is vyomakaram? Like the space. If the East tries to focus its attention on its real nature, the space, will the East ever call itself as the East? And when there is no East, there is no North, West, South, etc. In the same manner, when we come to recognize ourselves to be the infinite reality, then relativity appears as an illusion. It cannot be real. See? From the wave's point of view, I versus you is real. From the wave versus ocean point of view, the created and creator is real. From the ocean's point of view, there are no waves. Ocean alone is the truth. See friends, in the absolute, relative is always imagined. Absolute is man, father is imagined, husband is imagined, son is imagined with reference to the conditioning. The moment you remove the conditioning, he continues to be ekameva dvitiya. Therefore, dhyata dhyanam katham bhavet. So how there can be a meditator doing meditation? See? The difference. Patanjali says, Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tan nirodha. Practice, practice, practice. Here the teacher says, what will you practice? Practice introduces an element of effort. Effort creates Mr. I. And Mr. I suffers in this world the experiences which are gathered in the relative world. That is why we have been emphasizing again and again. Don't do meditation, play meditation. I'll tell you, one day it happened in England. My host and hostile, they are very close to me, very sweet couple. They were many years in Hong Kong, and I call that man as Zen Master. He is all the time in the Shambhavi Gujarat, and very cool and quiet. Doesn't have any people to go and friends and all that. He goes for fishing, and when he catches the fish, he carries the bucket. In the bucket there is water, he puts all the fish in the bucket, and he counts over 3, 4, 6. Very good, good catch for the day. And then he puts all the fish back into the water and comes home happily, strictly vegetarian. But he goes there only for fun. So I call him as the Zen Master. And his wife tells me, Swamiji, you are the only one in the whole world. I know this old man for the last 50 years we are married. He has never been fond of anybody, including me. But when you are coming, he has purchased book, vegetarian cooking. And before I go, he studies that. And when I go, he makes all experiments on me. Such a lovely person. So when I go and stay in their house, the first floor, house is also very old, 300 years old. When you walk, it makes its own sound. So one day I was sitting in the morning in my bed itself. I got up, finished morning ABCD, and I was sitting for. And Amma came to call me for tea, and I realized she has come. saw, peeped inside and went back. And thereafter, when I went down, I said, Mama, tea, coffee. Swamiji, I am extremely sorry. So what did you do? I came when you were doing meditation. I came and disturbed you. I said, you abuse me, anything, don't tell me I was doing meditation. Why? I said, I will never do meditation. Then I said, I was sitting in the lap of my Krishna. When I said like that, she started crying. She came and hugged. How can you so casually say you are sitting in the lap of the Lord? When a child sits in the lap of the mother, the child is free from efforts that I am sitting in a chair. The moment we start doing something, I is formed. He said, I have been doing meditation throughout my life. Nobody has told me this. I said, from now on, stop doing meditation. Always have this understanding. Now I am going to sit with my Kanhaiya, okay? Bye everybody. In a fraction of a second, I disappears. And when I disappears, there are no efforts. Prayatna Shaitilya, no efforts. And when there is Prayatna Shaitilya, Ananta Samapatti, you merge in the infinite. See friends, this is what is meant over here, that Yomakaram Tataivaikam Dhyata Dhyanam Katham Bhavet. Where is a place for meditation and meditator and struggle and achieving something? Yat karomi, yadashnami, yat juhomi, dadami, yat etat sarvam name kinchit vishuddhoham ajo avyaha. Therefore, when there is no meditator, no meditation, similarly, when there is no doer, then yat karomi, things are happening through me, I am not doing anything. See friends, yat karomi, yat ashnami, whatever I am doing, eating or doing offering or giving to somebody, I do nothing. Because ajaha aham avyaha. See friends, all the spiritual practice is getting freedom from Mr. I. If we have really served somebody in our life, because of that somebody, we will never get hurt. Because if we are served, we have surrendered our I. Service is not possible unless the I is surrendered. Keeping the I intact, only the title is there, Chief Sevak. CHEAP. And then you see, I have done so much, but nobody appreciates me. The day this thought comes, please recognize this point. Any moment we get hurt, understand, ego's good is stronger still inside. There was one lady, one day she came. Swamiji, I want to talk to you personally. I said, I had nothing to talk about me, okay? Over. No, about me. I said, I don't want to know about you also. I fully fill in the hard disk. You can fill in something better. Unwanted garbage. Please, Swamiji, I said, oh. Then she came and started. Therefore, I never allow anybody to come to my place. When I go to somebody's house, like I am going to his house today for lunch, after dinner, after eating, I can run away. But somebody comes to my house, I can't push them. Baba, go. I get blocked. So, she came. Swamiji, my father died when I was hardly 18. And there were 4 sisters and 2 brothers. And I was the only elder person. I did everything for them. I did not get married. I got educated. I got married. Now I am old, 45. But nobody wants me now. I have done so much for them. What should I do? I said, Mama, if you have come with a proposal to me, you are dialing the wrong number, okay? See, friends, if you have really served somebody, you will never be frustrated in life. Recognize this principle. Service can never make you frustrated unless it is a government service. Therefore, yad karomi, yad ashnami, yad juhomi, dadami, yad etat sarvam name kinchit vishuddhoham ajaha avyayaha. This is what Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter. What a seeker should practice knowledge. What is the meaning of practicing knowledge? Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manneta tattvavid pashyan shrunvan spushan jigran ashnan achan swapan swashan pralapan visrujan grunnan unmishan nimishan api indriyani indriyatase. Everything is happening only in the Prakriti. There is no place for I who is doing something. See, this is the practice of knowledge. And one simple technique I'll tell you for this. The technique is, start using passive voice in your expressions. See, I have done this thing, active voice. Hey, things are done. Who has done is not important. The things are done, that is important. But for us, I have done so much. Then carry the load and suffer. And things are done. Over. Who has done is not valuable. The things are done are not valuable. See? Therefore, etat sarvam name kinchit vishuddhoham ajo avyayaha. Sarvam jagat vidhi nirakrutidam, sarvam jagat vidhi vikarahinam, sarvam jagat vidhi vishuddha deham, sarvam jagat vidhi shivaika rupam. Sarvam jagat vidhi nirakrutidam. This whole world is nothing but absolute reality. Be very attentive. Just now you have told us, sir, the world is an illusion. Now you are telling the world is reality. What is this? You are confusing us. That is our purpose. When you are confused, then you will pay attention. It is something like, on a nice highway, you go straight road. This happens in the Western world. It's a dumb experience of driving. In India, driving experience is lively. You are driving, suddenly buffalo comes and looks at you like an RTO. RTO can stop the car anywhere. He doesn't stop. So, when the road is straight, you are going, and then there is no involvement, and they put it on, automatic driving, and then simply sit dumb. There is nobody you want to fight. At least in India, you have got somebody to fight. And in that, slowly you get into the lullaby mode, asleep. In the same manner, the text is given so beautifully, systematically, methodically, logically, and when that logical, methodical approach brings a kind of a stupor, suddenly there is a spirit breakup. Kya ho gaya? And then you become awakened. This is how wherever there are contradictions in our scriptures, that is the place where the truth is hidden. How important. Therefore here, earlier it was said that the whole world is anrutam, unreal. Now it is said, whole world is real. What should be our understanding? Now be attentive. How do we look at the world? That will make all the difference about the world. When we look at the world, as other than the self, we will be only indulgent. I want to enjoy. This world is meant for my enjoyment. And we will become bhoga oriented. We will become indulgent in our life. But when you look at the same word as nothing but the Lord Himself in all the forms and all the names, our approach to the world will not be that of indulgence, but that of service and surrender. See, the change is in our perception. Remember, I gave you one example about a beauty parlor. When it is written there, don't whistle at our customers when they come out of the studio. Maybe she is your grandmother, a youngster. He saw a girl going, nice figure, slowly walking and coming on a Honda, dang, 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 dang. And for eve teasing, he took like a Hindi cinema and stood before her. And instead of being a young girl of 19, she happened to be an old lady of 91. And then she asked this boy, Beta, what do you want? Will he continue teasing? Because perception, when it was, she is a young girl, he is a teaser. The moment the truth is discovered that she is not 19, but she is 91, everything disappears. Exactly the same way, when we look at this world as a field of indulgence, we are extrovert. And when you look at the same world as nothing but the manifestation of the divinity, you cannot be indulgent in that. See, friends, this is what is meant here, that sarvam jagat viddhi nirakritidam sarvam jagat viddhi vikarahinam. In this whole world there are no modifications. The world has always been like this. See, can we say that the mirage waters in the Sahara desert is salty and the mirage waters in our Gujarat is not salty? See? Therefore, vikarahinam sarvam jagat viddhi vishuddha deham. This whole world is nothing but an abode where Paramatma is residing. It is something like, in all the ornaments, the gold is residing. In all the waves, the ocean is residing. In all the clouds, the water is residing. In the same manner, everything in this world which is perceived is permeated by the divine. Therefore, sarvam jagat viddhi shivaika rupam. And when we have discovered ourselves to be the conscious existence, from our experience point of view, this world is nothing but conscious existence. See, friends, this is the basic principle. What we look at the world is what we have seen ourselves. If I consider myself to be the body, for me the world is nothing but the body. If I consider myself to be old, the world is nothing but old and young. And if I consider myself to be intelligent, the world is nothing but dumb and intelligent like me. And if I recognize myself to be the conscious principle, there is nothing but conscious principle. That is why, unless we come to discover the divinity that we are, we will not be able to discover the divinity that alone is in and through the total creation. See, we have to recognize this principle. Tattvam tvam nahi sandeha kim jnanam yathava punah asamvedyam swasamvedyam atmanam manyase katham. Tvam tattvam nahi sandeha. The Guru tells, I have no doubt, my dear, you are the reality. So why are you all the time frustrated? But how do I know that I am the reality? See? The problem is we want to know the truth as an object of knowledge. The objectification in the knowledge is the biggest hurdle for every seeker to cross. This is the first hurdle and this is the last hurdle. See how it is. Let us take the path of yoga, which deals basically with the Prakriti. Everything is taken care of, yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, etc. Then we come to the thoughts and then we come to the thought of the deep sleep. So, different types of thoughts. Objective, objective, objective. In deep sleep, there also objectivity is not rejected in the definition of sleep according to yoga. What is sleep according to yoga? Abhava pratyaya alambana vrittihi nidra. So nidra is, sleep is where absence is the object of knowledge. So the objectivity in the knowledge is not denied. Until such time, objectivity continues to be associated in the knowledge, we are far away from the truth. And therefore here the teacher says, na janami athava punaha, how can you say that I don't know myself? Asamvedyam, and the truth cannot be known. Or swasamvedyam, to say no, self can be known only by the self. All these things are only words, words, words. You are that. You know, why wise people do not have the ego? And why other wise people have only the ego? Basic reason. The wise people are those who have come to discover that earlier they were fools. Will you have the ego? मालूम है पहले मैं पागल था. No. There cannot be. And those who have got little bit of knowledge here and there, little bit of Bhagavad Gita you read, or little bit Upanishad you read or talk to somebody, Onyasti sadrusho maya. I am the wiser than the wisest. Such erudite pandits are only vocal without any experience behind it. Therefore, asamvedyam, Atma cannot be known. Swasamvedyam, Atma can be known by oneself. Atmanam mannase katham. All that is spoken of about the truth, that it is can be known or it cannot be known, is totally wrong, because the truth is neither known nor unknown. Kenopanishad. Anyadevata viditat atha aviditat avi. The truth is other than the known and the unknown. What is known? Waking, dream, these are the experience falling in the category of known. What is unknown? The experience of the deep sleep and the samadhi. Aham kimapi na janami. I know nothing. The truth is other than the known and unknown. Means the truth is that which is supporting the presence of the waking and the dream and the absence of the deep sleep and the samadhi, and therefore mattaha smriti jnanam apohanancha. Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter tells, because of me the waking experience jnanam, smriti the dream experience apohanam, their absence is possible. And this me is beyond the known and the unknown. Therefore, swasamvedyam, asamvedyam, atmanam mannase katham. How can you ever talk of that I know the self or I don't know the self? Both of them are totally wrong. No, it is because of the Maya. Maharaj, you don't know you are Vedanti Maya. Now here the Maya is taken care of. I am not talking about the political Maya. Maya, Maya, katham tata, chaya, chaya na vidyate, tattvamekemidam sarvam, vyomakaram niranjanam. Don't talk this Maya, Maya. There is nothing like Maya. See? Be very attentive. This example will make this point of Maya clear. Many times, we hear this word Maya and we say, oh, Shankara was a Mayavadi. So, if the understanding is clear, this Maya will not trouble us. Maya means what? Miyate anaya iti Maya. That which gives a measured experience is called as Maya. Not the total experience. Like our eyes. Our eyes can illuminate up to a particular spectrum of light waves. Beyond that, our eyes are important to perceive the light waves beyond that spectrum. The pure spectrum alone can be experienced by the human eyes. And if we insist that there are no light waves beyond the pure spectrum, then we are under the influence of Maya. Similarly, our ears can hear only up to some limit of decibels. Beyond that, the ears cannot hear. And if we say that I have not heard God's name, therefore God is not, we are under the influence of Maya. Further, don't stop. Our intellect can comprehend up to a particular limit. Beyond that, our intellect becomes impotent. And if we say, unless I understand, I don't accept. I don't have blind faith. They don't understand. Faith has to be blind. When you know, you don't require faith. When you don't know, then alone you require faith. Be friends. And therefore, unless we are able to go beyond these limitations and then experience, then we come to know Maya is not something terrible. Maya is, it is something like seeing by the eyes, is it a problem? Hearing by the ears, is it a problem? Having thoughts in the mind, is it a problem? Maya cannot be a problem. But when we have misunderstood the whole thing, then we say, oh, this whole world is bad, mind should be controlled. Why be afraid of the thoughts? Play with the thoughts and go beyond the thoughts, rather than suppressing them for nothing. So, Maya, Amaya, Katham Tata. Similarly, Chaya, Achaya, Navidyate. When we talk about the shadow, is shadow an object of knowledge? Yes. But is it an object? No. See the fun. Shadow appears. In physics we study light. Do we study darkness? But we suffer because of the darkness. If we are suffering because of the darkness, let us study darkness. The chaya, the shadow, if it is, then only you can study. In the same way, Maya, there is nothing like Maya. It is the expression of the infinite through the limitations of the finite. This phenomena is called as Maya. Therefore, Tattvamekam idam sarvam. There is but one reality which is expressing through all the limitations, and yet it has never become limited, like one space expresses through the east, north, west, south. Because of that, the space is never divided into four quarters. It is one and the same. Therefore, Vyomakaram Niranjanam, like the space untainted by the limitations of the directions or the upadhi, the self is the one, without the influence of the objectivity in the knowledge, without the influence of the instruments of knowledge, and without the influence of the limitations of the instruments of knowledge. This infinite experience, which is independent of all the limitations, although supporting all the limitations, is our essential nature, come to discover and live that 24/7. It's not impossible. How to live that? Take life lightly. Don't become serious on any issue. While we are walking, I was telling Sham, I said, Sham, look at the people walking. The children are full of life. Old people, जाऊं तो जाऊं कहाँ? Go and jump into the sea and make pollution. See? What God has not given us. And yet there is no charm in our face. See? Constantly seeking attention from the world. See, one person, I don't know where is he used to tell me, Swamiji, I am in depression, but I don't want to become a divana. Kuch karo. Everything we have, and yet that frustration on the face. Either we change or God will change. How He will change? He will say, my dear, it was my mistake. I made you human being. Next time I will not commit this mistake. Don't take life too seriously. Live in the light of wisdom. Then only this Avadhuta Gita is really meaningful to us. So Adi Madhyanta Muktoham Na Baddhoham Kadachana Swabhava Nirmalaha Shuddha Iti Me Nishchita Mati. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.